Here we are, class number 10, pack of 5, March. March, my favorite month of the year. Spring break is only 9 school days away. Really, for us, I guess it's 8 sessions away, because that Thursday before spring break, that's a test, which you all would get PDF'd, I guess. And though at that one, I think I'll have you submit through Canvas rather than email me back. I found because I don't need to. Well, I kind of do. I don't know. Thing about that, the reason why we can't just submit things with Canvas on tests is I've got to have a paper version of it because I've got to write all over it. I mean, you live and breathe by partial credit. So can you guys see my? Maybe you can't. Hold on. Let's try it again. I'll stop the sharing. I'm trying to share again. When I open up new screens, it messes up the share. So via cable. All right. So yeah, that's the problem with just submitting it on Canvas. Is if you all, like, if I can look at it with my iPad, then I can mark it up. That's the ultimate. Then Canvas would work really well. But because I cannot mark it up and assign partial credit, I can look at it and say, okay, you got this many points, but you had no idea why you lost points. And then when it comes time for black and blue, which is already weird for virtual. Anyway, so that's next week. Let's worry about that later. This test, the test that we took, that you sent me, everyone should have sent me that, by the way, and I've been grading it, and I'm down to 2 problems, so I'll have that completed tomorrow night. I don't know what I'll do, whether I'll post a grade or not, because there's black problems on there, and there's 3 black problems, maybe a 4th, which is a lot for a test. So we'll have to do those again, but you should, if you sent me the original test, you should still have if you PDF me the test, you should have your original test. If you dropped your test off on my front porch, then you still have the PDF. You can still print off the original 4 black and blue problems. And black and blue problems, you redo them and you get back the credit, some of the credit. Black, you get all the credit back. So we'll think about that on Wednesday. In class, we're going to do the black problems Wednesday. And so we'll dedicate Wednesday's session to kind of working out black and blue. All right. Let's see what we got here. That was Feast and Film. All the goodies they brought. There's one guy here in the witness protection program. This is 3rd hour. Who is that guy? Who's the guy hiding? Still, I try to get 3rd hour to fess up. Nobody would. We'll do process elimination. Okay, so last week, this was you guys. You did your paper. You turned that in on Saturday. Who do we got here? Let me check my audience out. Okay, so I have 12 of you here. That's good. Usual suspects, and you're all virtual. Okay. Then this week looks like this. Now I handed out the first set of 5A practice problems, which those are all at school. I didn't bring home a set of copies for that. It has on there all the QR codes. There's PDFs of it, both on Facebook and on the Canvas. That's probably what you want to do is print off the PDF. I don't think I have any. I don't think. I'll try and bring some home tomorrow. But those are practice. It's a new way to do practice problems. I've been doing practice problems for a couple of years now on tests, 5As, on A tests. But they're always just on Facebook, and then it's up to you whether you go look at them or not. It's optional. Well, now I'm doing, here it is. Now I'm doing optional, okay. It's optional practice problems for test 5A. You'll get 2 sets. Or remind myself to go bring some home, put them on the front porch if you want them, but you can print these off. The first set is, it's all type 2A, 2B, 1A or 1 projectile motion. So these are the problems. Now, the new thing is, well, it's the first time I've ever printed them off for you. The new thing is, though, the real new thing is the QR code. So something new I'm trying, and each problem has a QR code that goes with it. So you can just put your camera up to that. One kid said he's trying with this camera, it wouldn't work. Well, everybody else, it worked. So, 59 out of 60 kids, they all agree, yeah, it works. And I think he just needs a module. So if you find that when you put your camera up to the computer screen, it'll go to these. So each one of these problems, it links it to a help video, which is exactly like the problem or one similar to the problem. So I did a little looking around on YouTube. These are all my help videos. Most of them are silent, and it's kind of me working the problem. So here's where this is another way this is different. Normally, you include these with your packet notes, like you did packet 4, and you get credit that way because you get increased notes, right? Well, this time I'm beefing that up, and now next Thursday, you'll turn these in. Now, what you'll do is you'll PDF them to me, I guess. I can make it so you submit them. I can make this so it's a submit. It makes it easier on all of us. And so virtual only submit will be this on Thursday, and Thursday afternoon, shoot, maybe Friday for you guys. I always wait a day. I'll try not to get into your spring break too much, but probably no. Tell you what, Thursday afternoon, I'll send you out the PDFs of packet 5A test, and you'll have to submit them by, let's say, Friday at midnight. But remember, when you start taking it, you give yourself, your honor system, give yourself 1 hour. Just so you're fair to the kids that are, suffering in the classroom. So it's these 2 sides. Everyone has a QR code. And so now, here's a new thing. So I'm going to I give them dino stamps. And they're going to dino stamp if for every problem they worked correctly. Now this time it's not just chicken scratches. If all I see on there is the usual, for some people, well, that, and then they go, okay, there's that going on, and there's a delta T, and then they go over here, and then that's it. That's the chicken scratches they give me, and they want a stamp. No, not this time. I encourage you to attempt something, but that's hieroglyphics. So because you have the key, I'm going to be a little more picky on giving you points. In your case, it's points. Every stamp is 3 points. So when you turn this in, and by the way, look, it's optional. Optional. If you don't turn it in, no harm done. You can throw it, you can ignore this. But the problem is you're not going to have a chance at those points. And by the way, these are extra credit points. It's optional, so they're extra credit points. Up to 3 points per problem. That's insane. It's an insane amount of points. 8, so there's 24 points right there, bonus, available to you from set 1. Set 2, probably another 24 points. So that's it. That's I've lost my mind. So yeah, I can't believe I'm doing that. But I want to. This is like you know, when you first sell a new product, you know, you want to get you want to get some people out there doing it. And so I'm trying to get you guys to entice you to do it. And then if it works out well, I got set twos about ready to go. That'll come out on Friday, this Friday. And if it works out well, this ought to keep busy till then. Then I'll do it again for packet 6. And then if that works out well, I'll start putting it into my program. So on all the worksheets, that's going to take a couple of years, but on all the worksheets, there's a QR code. And just that way, you don't need me. It shows how to work all the problems as you go. That's my ultimate goal, is to be not needed. Notice that this is bothering some students today. So it says like test 5A, practice problem number 2. Then it says 10, 12 points. And someone said, you mean we get 12 points for that? No, I pulled these directly from old tests. Okay. So these are actually test problems. So they're all legit. Hopefully you can read that one. It came out better on paper, but anyway, so that's what it was worth. I'm just letting you know. I thought, well, I could white that out, but it kind of gives you a feel for how many points that thing was worth or would be worth on the test. And the other promise I have to you is the test on Thursday afternoon for you guys will look a lot like this. I mean, there's no surprises on A tests, on 5A, 6A, 4A, no surprises. I can't hold back 10% like I do on tests. So it will be, there are probably like 15 practice problems, and I'll probably take like 9 of those, 8 of those practice problems, and they will look from 10,000 feet, they'll look the same. But if you zero in there, you go, oh, it's here. Instead of being 1.5 meters high, it's 2 meters high. Okay, so little changes of numbers and some slight differences, but pretty close to the same. I'm trying to reward you for all your effort getting ready. So yes, blow it off by all means. Ignore it. But now that's a hard time explaining that one to whoever is questioning why you're not doing well in class. Why didn't you had the daggone QR code right there? Come on. All right. Questions on that? So this is what's happening. This is in class. This is in class. So this is not, for you all, it's slightly different. You're not going to turn them in, but you will submit it. So virtual, I'll add this when I make up the nice screenshot. Virtual will be submit by, we'll say Friday, and that's the, whatever that is, the 12th, what is 13th, whatever that is. No, it's the 1st, 8th, somewhere around 12th or so, maybe 13th, Friday at midnight, 11:59 p.m.
Mr. Rasky.
I'll make that more clear when it goes on the screenshots today. Yeah.
So the practice problems, could we do them in our notes?
You can, you're okay, do them in your notes, fine. Just take a picture of your notes and submit those.
All right.
But, I mean, because you're thinking I don't have enough room on here to do it. I didn't give you a lot of room. I'm trying to, I wasn't even supposed to, I mean, I'm supposed to be saving paper, so I'm kind of violating a rule here. But to me, this is pretty important. I gave you quite a bit of room there, but if you feel like, and if you're printing it off, you can maybe fold it over, do the work on the back, or I don't care. But when you submit it though, submit these, even these are blank, submit these as well. Take pictures of all, so you give me 4 submissions in, 4 pages. If you can get it all on 1 page, that's great, but make it so don't make it too sloppy. I gotta be able to, I'm gonna be a little stingy on these points I'm giving you. You're not guaranteed, 24 points by turning in slop. Okay, so it's got to be good. That's a good question. Any other questions on this?
When will notebooks be ready to be picked up?
I am focusing all my might on the tests, because Wednesday is our black day in class, and I've got to have them done by then. So I could show you there it went. Okay. Knew I shouldn't have done that. All right, well, I lost everything when I did that. That was stupid. This is all held together with duct tape and glue. All right. Try it again. Means I lost everything. Yeah, so I have them all in a container, all your
I think you muted yourself.
We can't hear you.
all right, now I'm unmuted. All right. I don't know why it muted me. It just doesn't. Zoom does all this weird stuff. Okay, so we're back on the screen again. One cable came out and all hell broke loose. All right. So the question was, when do you get your notebooks back? Best I can do is an estimate. I'll be finishing the test tonight or tomorrow night. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will start in on yours. I'll do virtual first for packet and notes. And then I can put those on the front porch for you if you want your notebook back. So that would put notebooks back to you by Friday. Friday. It's my goal. Friday afternoon. Now, what you can do though, just do it on a piece of paper and then you can tape it in or transfer it over. Okay. That's what always happens. I get nothing. All of a sudden a tranche, everything comes piling up and then it takes me a while to work through everything again. But I'm getting that daggone test one way or another by Wednesday. Okay. I'll post a key to 5.2 this afternoon. Normally we go around and check stamps. There's nothing due today. So today we're going to do a couple of things. This was us last Wednesday. We did number two. Your homework is number 1 and number 3. So I'll show you the homework. The homework number 1 and 3 are due. They're Monday's homework. So for you, just to keep up, will you turn this sheet in as a submission? I don't think so. I am inundated with, I cannot. Great. I got things backed up. I got to get all this. Let me get out of all this mess and then we'll start submitting again. But no, probably won't submit this one, but you still need to do it, right? You got to do it. So you might as well do it. It gets turned in April. So let's look at, so 1 and 3 are the homeworks, but let's look at number 4 together. That's the main thing we'll do today. Knock out 4. And then at the end, we'll talk about this guy. Okay, we'll be launching these in class. We do this in the hallway. If you want to swing by tomorrow morning, you could be in part of that activity. Everybody's out in the hall. It's pretty well ventilated. And so you're certainly welcome to pick an hour, first, second, or third hour. Second's my busiest. So if you want to come over and do the lab with us as an activity, first hour will be fine. That's my smallest. You could even have you and a partner want to do it. You could have your own little group. Or it's better to have 3 people in each one of these groups. But that we'll talk about that at the end. Okay, so let's look at number 4 on 5.3 here. T-shirt, gun. You know, you've seen these at basketball games and stuff. They wad them up, they shoot T-shirts out in the crowd. And so I was at an OU basketball game and I was watching them shoot that. I thought, hey, that's a good physics problem. So I wrote this physics problem many years ago, but they're doing a little estimation here. So from where the shirt, where the gun barrel to where the shirt was, or where the shirt hit, is 36 meters. Now, what I want you to do, I'm going to give you a minute. I'll put this on pause. Let me pause the recording. Got some chats going on here. Let me see what you're chatting. Oh, you are muted. Okay. All right. I'm going to put it on pause. And all right. So they have now drawn theirs. I'm going to draw mine. I don't need to get a protractor out. I don't need a ruler. It's a sketch. So that's my V naught, and V naught, not V naught X, V naught Y, just V naught is 40 meters per second. I do know that delta X is 36 meters horizontally. So delta X equals 36 meters. And I know the angle is 50 degrees. That's all I know. So it's some type of, it is going to have some kind of delta Y. And it does give me a hint there. It says, gun barrel shooting into a crowd. So delta Y then, they're not shooting down below. So I can assume that delta Y is going to be some kind of positive value. Now the question is, what I don't know, is it going to reach its apex and then come down to somebody? Or is it still going to be going on its way to its apex? Or is it going to hit, are they going to catch it right at the apex? So I don't know. My delta Y is kind of questionable. Delta Y equals question mark. Okay. So I guess what I'm asking is it, if these are my types of equations, and someone asked if I could put that on the equation sheet. I don't see why I couldn't. Let me make a note to myself. Add, because now we've kind of gone through these. Add, well, we haven't tested over 5 yet. Oh, well. Add to equation sheets. Equation ASCII. Note to myself here, but I don't blow past it. Add, yeah.
Is number 4 a type 1 or type 2 projectile motion equation?
Well, it's shot at an angle, so it's not type 1. Type 1 are these things, right? Where it's shot at an angle. So this is, and it's not, it doesn't land at the same elevation it took off at, so it's not type 2A. It's not this either. So it's one of these other ones. Let me erase that so you can see them. Oops. Oops. Okay. Oops. Oh, nuts. Okay, it's embedded on that thing. So it's one of these 4. It's either this one, but that probably ain't it, right? Because it didn't land below. So it's not that one. It's this one. It could be, question mark. It could be that one because it's landing in the audience above. Could it be this one? Yes. It could hit the person right at the apex. Is it this one? It could be. It could reach the apex and come back down. So we got it down. It's not this one either. Can't be that one because it's not landing below. So it's one of those 3 in type 2B. Okay, that's what our graphs are going to look like in the Y. All right, so the only way to figure this out is to go through the equations now. So we'll always start with the red. Always start with the red. So delta X, red. Delta X equals Vx, which is V naught cosine theta, times T, And it's really tau here because I am, it is my total time. I'm trying to find, I don't know total time, but it'd be nice to have it. So now let's see if we can find total time. I'll plug in my delta x, that's 36 meters, equals V naught, which is 40 times cosine 50 degrees meters per second times tau. And so voila, first time this semester, I can now find time with a red equation. I don't need blue quad. Woohoo! So I'll save you time here. You plug it all in into your make sure you're in degrees. You'll find that tau is to 2 siggies is 1.4. For graphs, 2 siggies is all you need. That is huge. Once you find time in a graph situation, you got the world by the tail. Okay, hold on. No, doctor. That was just a note to myself. Okay, supposed to have an appointment tomorrow afternoon. Make sure I still got it. So tau is 1.4 seconds. Now, a word about that. We're using 2 sigs on the graphs, and that's usually fine, unless it's a really detailed graph. 2 sigs are plenty. But what I saw students do on the test is on a couple of problems, they used 1 sig in the problem. Never, ever, ever do that. Never round to 1 digit. They rounded 2/3 to 0.6 or 0.7, making their answer off by about 15%. So you can't do that. The earlier you round in a problem, it's called propagation of error. The worse the answer is. And so you lost the points. You got a TMR, too much rounding. And so you can never, ever round to 1 sig fig. You might as well just not do it. Okay? So stop doing that. Yeah. And it wasn't like one person, it was like a dozen people did that. Anyway, we'll talk about that more on Wednesday. So T is 1.4 seconds. So I know all these graphs end at 1.4 seconds. I could go ahead. Remember, if it's one of those, you got 15 seconds to finish the problem, you do this kind of number, right? You go boom, boom, boom. You know those 3. You know this one's going to be like that, something like that. And you know this one's going to be something like, that's it. I tell you, this kicks me out all the time. It kicks me out. And you know this is going to be some type of negative parabola there. Can't believe I'm paying these guys money. All right, so start up again. Yeah, so this is going to be some kind of negative parabola, but that's if you got 15 seconds to turn it in. So let's get more serious. That is the general shapes, though. If it'll open up. All right, so let's erase this. It's been a frustrating day. Joke Monday, man. Don't block. You block. They block everything now. It's one thing you don't have to worry about. Being virtual. Oh, God, the filter system's gotten out of hand. They're protecting the students. Yeah, well, you're getting in the way of education. That's what you're doing. All right, so this is an elementary school. And I wrote them an email explaining that again. These are high school kids. All right, so let's go ahead and do this is Vx. This is X. This is Y. I mean, the guy that's doing it is an old student of mine, so I'm just ripping him a new one. He knows better. Old Pete. Good guy. He gets people yapping at him all the time. All right, so Vx is 40 cosine 50. Somebody got that? Is that like 25, 26?
Like 25.7.
All right, so we'll say 26, 2 siggies. So if I call, looks like I get to make my own numbers here. I'm going to call that 25. So 26 puts me right here. And it's just flat, okay? It's just flat for 1.4 seconds. So very carefully, it'd be nice to have a ruler, but try not to do little shaky hands. 1.4 seconds right to there. Now this other one's even easier. It goes to 36 meters. So I'll just make this up. That's 20, we'll say. So 24, 28, 32, 36 right here. And this is a straight line with a slope. Boom. Okay, so see how easy those are? Now this one's even easier because this is just negative G. If I don't give you any numbers, you just call it negative G and just pick a point and go flat. That's all you got to do. Okay. Now we get to Vy. Vy, we do need to do that. And so V naught Y. So V naught Y is V naught sine theta. So it's 40, 40 sine 50. And what's that? Like 31, right? I think it's gonna be 31.
Yeah,
it's 30.64.
Okay, so to 2 siggies, 31. So this is 25. I'll call this 25. Makes that 30. So 31 is right there. And now, what's the slope of this line? We've been doing this since October. What's the slope of that line?
G.
Right, negative G. So negative G, and so G is 9.81, but at 2 siggies, we'll call it 10. So I can do this in my head. I mean, this, if it starts at 31, if right here it's 31, then I could plug into a formula, or I could just know this. I know the slope is negative 10. I know it goes 1.4 seconds. 1.4 times negative 10 is negative 14, right? 31 minus 14 is 17. 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so that's 17's right there. And now I connect those up with a straight line. A negative slope. Slope is negative G. Always and forever. Doesn't matter what planet you're on, it's always negative G.
Mr. Drasky,
Yeah.
can you explain how you got 31 again?
Just plugged it into this formula right here. 40 times sine 50 should give you 30.6, 31.7 then. Make sure you're in degrees.
How did you get the 17? Or was it 17 or 14?
17. I said 31. Meters per second. And then the slope was negative 10. And it went on for 1.4 seconds. So if I drop negative 10 meters per second for 1.4 seconds, negative 10 times 1.4 is negative 14. So I know I dropped 14 meters per second. I was at 31, and 31 minus 14 is 17. So that's, I mean, there's physics, there's like rookie level physics where every number you get, you take and you plug it into a formula, right? Yeah, you just gotta feel like you gotta do it. But then when you've done it a while, you go, oh, okay, I can kind of just use the graph to do this one. Some you do. Sometimes you have to plug it into a formula, like when it's squared stuff and parabolas. When it's linear, a lot of times you can just do that right off the graph, kind of think through it. It just makes it faster. You can still go back and use, I don't know, what could you use first? Yeah, you could use second blue. Yeah, you could use second blue. That would also give it to you. Plug in 1.4 for T. Plug in 31 for V naught. You get the same answer. So I'll darken that up. Okay. So now we have this guy. We know where we start. We start at 0. That's where the barrel of the gun is. That's the muzzle. The origin's usually the muzzle of the gun, or it's the hand, or whatever. That's the origin. Now, I want to know where I end up. So I got to find delta y. Now, I could use the graph, but then it's not so easy because then it's the area on this curve. But the problem is dot, 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 dot. The problem is this sucker is a trapezoid, and those aren't fun. You know, 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. It'll help you in the ACT, but it's not fun to find that area. You might as well just use second blue. So we come in here, we use second blue to find my delta y. So that's V naught sine theta times T minus 1/2 GT squared. We know V naught is, no, I've already forgot, 50? 40. Okay,
40.
we know, we know V naught is 40 meters per second. We know theta is 50 degrees. We know T is 1.4 seconds. We know G is 9.81 if we're going to plug it into an equation. We know T is 1.4. Boom. Got to square it there. So there you go. You got all your numbers. When you punch all that in, what do you get for delta Y? 30 something?
I got 33.7.
33.7 makes 34. 34, we're all good? 34?
Yeah.
Okay. So that sounds like what they were getting. All right. So 30s, we'll make this 30 then, obviously. 30, so 34, 2%. Okay, so 34 is right here. We're going for 1.4, put a big dot. That is where I end up. So I know where I start. I know where I end. And so here comes Johnny A plus out of class, and he goes, I know this stuff. He goes, this is what it looks like. Kill that real quick. It looks like this. What's the problem with that?
Is it not going to start at the origin?
It did start at the origin. See, I start at the origin. There it is.
Has it not hit its apex
Yeah,
yet?
exactly right. There's your point. It didn't hit the apex. It never hit the apex. So, what a jerk. Okay, so never at the apex. So that's wrong. So let's get rid of that. Erase that. You would lose buku points on that one. You had me and you lost me. All right, so then I go, okay, well, I'll just make a straight line. Why not that?
It's a parabola.
Yeah, it's not linear. So now this is where the art comes in. You're not at that apex. In fact, now let's go back and look. So let's see which of the situations this is. Is it that one?
I don't think so.
No, because we never hit the apex. So for that reason, it's not that one. It's not that. Is it that one? No, never at the apex. It has to be that one. So that's the scenario. Remember talk about the window shades, closing the curtains? That's the scenario. Okay, now let's go back and look then. So this little arc comes in here. We start off steep, and we end up not flat, but less steep. And we got to curve our way into that. So we go up, 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 start to curve in, not all the way, start to curve in. Okay, there you go. Here's the official key here. That's the correct, absolute correct key. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. That's a full-fledged, all 5, the most graphs you'll ever see in here. I promise you, no more worksheets with all these graphs. Never, never again. We'll do some graphs, but they'll be, more spread out. Occasionally we'll do a graph. Okay, the next thing we got 5 minutes. I got just enough time to set this one up. Who are these dudes? People going door to door. Go away. Okay, so in the next one, I really would like to see you at school tomorrow, and sometime in the morning, 9 a.m. Probably not second hour, it's too big. But if you can get there at 9 a.m. and just stay for about, 40 minutes, leave. Or I won't count you here or there. No one knows you're there. Go in the science building. We'll be in the hallway. Or you could come in at 11 a.m. and stay till about, 11:30 and leave. Or whatever. You don't have to, but I'm saying that otherwise it's going to be me doing this, and then the thing shoots out, and then it goes over there, and then maybe I'll show you a little video, but that's just not. That drives me crazy. That's the one thing about this. I love you guys, but it's one thing about virtual. It just drives me crazy. We can't do anything. It's really hard to teach physics unless you do something. Okay. Well, the point of tomorrow, I'm down to 3 minutes. The point about tomorrow is we're going to determine our initial velocity, what's called the muzzle velocity of the gun, the speed at which the marble comes out of the barrel, and that's something that you have to actually measure. So we're going to use the range equation to do it, and so there's the range equation that it's one of the derivations you have to do. I think on test 5A you got to derive it. So, and there's a help video on that. So, but here I can measure this. I can measure this. I'll know that. I got to find V naught. So V naught then, V naught squared, if I just solve for that, I'm going to get my delta X of my range times G all over sine 2 theta. And then I got to scroot it. I got to scroot both sides. And that's it. So tomorrow they'll be launching, and the thing is, it has to be type 2A because the range only works for type 2A. So the thing is, they're going to launch, then they're going to have a stack of books that is this same height that it's got to go up and then hit the top of. And it takes a little practice. You'll get that done. And then they'll come back in, they'll do their work to find V naught. Okay. And then after that, we'll work on 5.5, and that's gold standard. We'll do some gold standard stuff. Okay, so that's what's going on. Turn this on. So questions. I get my shot tomorrow. Oh, I may have to peel off a little early tomorrow. I'm supposed to be getting my shot at 2. I can probably push that 2:15. So I may have to leave at 1:45 tomorrow, which is be okay because not all we could talk about tomorrow. I mean, really, we'll go ahead and meet, but we'll probably be done by 1:30, I would think. Okay. If there's no more questions, you guys are free to stick around. You can leave. I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to ask questions, stick around. Or go ahead and ask.
What was our homework?
Homework is 5, 3, 1, and 3. 5.3, 1, and 3.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.